Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. DCP Fitzbailey says working in today's criminal justice system is difficult due to prominence of social media. Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP, in charge of the Crime and Security Portfolio, Fitzbailey, says working within the criminal justice system in today's society, where social media is prominent, is difficult. Speaking during the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions' 60th Anniversary Church Service on August 14, DCP Bailey said social media users who have no experience in crime fighting and the delivery of justice are seeking to determine how cases are investigated and tried. He expressed concern about this growing issue.
Working within the criminal justice system at this time is a very difficult and challenging one. It is an era when social media, with its various experts, seem to be having the upper hand in setting the narratives. These so-called experts were never trained or worked in the field of their expertise. Yet they are countenanced by so much person, even persons who we consider to be intellectuals. They seem to have greater insight and understanding than judges, prosecutors, and law enforcers, so that the various offices are constantly placed under pressure as public opinion matters in a democratic state. So as you celebrate your 60th anniversary, your commitment to enforce the law as ministers of justice without fear or favor, you cannot be distracted by this media rush and fake news. You must remain on the side of law and not to be influenced by particular constituency. You cannot back down on transparency, the fight against injustice, and to stand up for the most vulnerable in society. The victims of crime expect the prosecutors to stand up for them, ensuring that they are treated with dignity as they go through the judicial process.
One person arrested following gun seizure in Westmoreland. One person has been arrested in relation to the seizure of a firearm in 3 Miles River District from Westmoreland on August 14. Reports are that a search warrant was executed at a premises during a special operation. During the search of the house, 1 homemade handgun and 3 12-gauge cartridges were reportedly found inside a bedroom. They were seized and the occupant of the house was arrested. Prime Minister says shortage of skilled contractors hampering 70,000 housing promise. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has reiterated that the shortage of skilled contractors is one hurdle that must be cleared so that the promised 70,000 housing solutions can be delivered. The government had announced almost 2 years ago that it would be providing some 70,000 affordable houses within 5 years. Speaking at the official handing over ceremony of more than 60 new houses of National Housing Trust unit at Industry Cove in Hanover recently, Mr. Holness said there are not enough skilled contractors at this time to meet the demand for houses.
So we have what we describe in Jamaica then to be a supply side issue. Demand is there, the demand is good, and we have the facilities for mortgages. What we don't have now is on the construction side of it, enough contractors. When we start to talk about having the contractors, it raises another issue, which I started off with in my present, quality of work. So it's not just having the contractors, but it is having the contractors that can deliver quality of work. So in doing this 70,000, there are many issues we have to resolve, and I think we have resolved most of them. The one that we are working on now is to get the contractors. So the government is contemplating how to regulate that sector to ensure that we get quality. And the regulation, when people hear regulations, immediately they think of another bureaucratic constraint being placed on an economic agent. But that's not always the case. The government has to take a development and supportive role with our contractors. So our contractors need training, they need exposure, and they need standards to which they should adhere. So we are solving the issue of the financing and the management and the acquisition of land. But there's one other element to this. To undertake such a massive house building program, the government can't alone. Government needs private sector to come on. And I'm not now speaking about private sector money, because the private sector has resources and the private sector is quite competitive in dealing with a certain segment of the market. Meaning the private sector is building several thousand housing solutions every year, and they can't have a hand to sell it. They're all being sold. So there is capacity at a certain level and a certain price point of the housing. Challenge is to get the private sector to participate in the affordable and low-income elements of the market, where the demand is. We have not been very successful in doing that.
Mother expresses displeasure over $90,000 uniform being sold at prominent St. Andrew-based high school, says back-to-school shopping too expensive. As parents and guardians across the country prepare for the new school year, one parent is lamenting that the cost of uniforms at a prominent St. Andrew-based high school is too exuberant. The mother, who says she has been diligent in preparing her daughter for her first year of secondary education, was shocked that the institution was selling a set of uniform for $9,250. She shared with reporters that with the current financial challenges facing several Jamaicans, the cost of uniforms at the school is too much for parents to bear.
I suspect that probably through the PE gear was $3,500. So I suspect that the uniform would be like probably around $5,000 or $5,500. So when I went down there, to my surprise, one set of uniform, which is skirt, blouse, tie, and a belt, is for $9,250. Which is so ridiculous, honestly, because there's a wide population of students go to school, so I don't understand why the uniform is selling so expensive. And I feel like this needs to go to some board or something to deduct something, because this is not right. We have to purchase the uniform at the school because the uniform changed. Because first it was the long tunic with blouse, but now it's skirt. Everybody wearing skirt and blouse with the tie and the belt, and then print them school logo on the shirt and on the tie, so you can purchase it anywhere else, and then don't have a printout to say, all right, then you can go and make the skirt or whatever. They said they even posted in the app group that we cannot source the uniform anywhere or make it anywhere. Definitely have to buy it at the school. The book list is ridiculous, and although them I get rental, you still have to buy things on it. And I have an ex-daughter where fair book list too, ridiculous, although them still get book rental and so forth. But I didn't buy everything on the book list, and I'm telling you that my bill already come up to $25,000, including when I purchased the 2 uniform, which is almost $20,000 for 2 uniform. Plus other stuff was already finished yet, and I already gone over $100,000. So me a second year, and they probably about $150,000 or more $1,000 to finish back to school. Cost of living gone sky high. You cannot afford it.
Transport sector participants trained as first responders as road crashes continue to climb. With some 298 people killed in road crashes so far this year, a program aimed at providing first responder training for persons within the transport industry is continuing its efforts to help with road safety. This as 15 participants from across the transport sector have received certification following completion of the second Transport Operators Blue Ribbon First Responder Training and Certificate Program. The program intends to equip transport operators across the country with the skills necessary to render assistance at a traffic crash site. The initiative was carried out by the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services TODS and the British Caribbean Insurance Company. Speaking with reporters, TODS President Mr. Newman stressed that the importance of transport operators being trained to assist during crashes, as oftentimes operators are the ones who transport the injured to the hospital when traffic crashes occur.
The Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, under our Road Safety awareness campaign program. In 2001, under the auspices of our stakeholders, including BCIC, launched a multimodal training program to train transport operators as first responders. Because when there's an accident, the first person to be on the accident site is a taximan or a busman, because they're always in that space. So we decided on our road safety program to train them as first responders, using persons from various sectors in the society in terms of educational pursuit, the JDF, the police, the fire department, who engage like in part trust to train these persons in the skill, 9 subject areas. We were pleased to see the passing out of 15 taxi operators and bus operators now become a road safety ambassador and a first responder. And we have some 350 more to go before the end of the year, and we are hoping to have those done so they can be our counterpart on the road to help other persons to understand the importance of safety and to assist where there's an accident.
Road Safety Council warns pedestrians against wearing dark-colored clothing at night. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Jones, is warning pedestrians to avoid wearing dark-colored clothing late at night while using the nation's road, as this increases the risk of them being hit by a motor vehicle. Dr. Jones gave the warning after revealing that of the 3 people killed in road crashes across the island on August 11, one of them was a pedestrian clad in a black cloth. It is alleged that the man walked out into the path of the motor car along the Helsherman Road in St. Catherine and was hit. Dr. Jones is encouraging persons to wear light-colored clothes at night so that they can be seen by motorists.
A motorcyclist died in Trelawny in the morning, and a pedestrian and a motorcyclist died at night in St. Catherine. I've noticed the reality, very sad reality, all 3 of them, but especially the pedestrian in St. Catherine. He was clad in dark clothes after 9 at night. You cannot wear dark clothes at night as a pedestrian and expect drivers to see you. Worse if you walk out in the road. It's a message we have been sending time and time again. Pedestrians should wear light-colored clothes at nights so that they can be seen and, if possible, avoided.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell